Welcome to today's meditation. Our theme is death and rebirth. And the topic of the death or passing away is you, your old self. Because it is spring. And we are ready for something new. We are ready to receive some light, new information, and new frequencies. Take a nice deep breath, and we're going to do it just how ancient women did it, through movement. Take a breath and begin to move your torso. Begin to wiggle your fingers. We've made it through the hardest part of the journey. The hardest part of the struggle. And we are now arriving at an entirely new place. If you'd like to stand up and let this movement go into your knees and your shoulders and your hips are in an opposite place. Maybe you'd like to find your voice. Ah, ah, oh, ah, You're waking up, that woman of wisdom, and you are breathing. And we rest. Welcome to today's meditation, the Be the Light meditation. And what is ancient is new again. As caretakers for the earth, we have the ability and actually the responsibility to look through the timeline and to remember when we lived with the earth and all of her elements and other humans in peace and harmony. And of course, music, the frequencies, can fold us into these realms easily as we access those grid points of deep remembrance. When the elders were respected and food was taken from the land and stirred slowly, and on some level, we are all very deeply seeking home. In ancient times, the feminine held rituals. The baking of the bread in the morning over the hearth, watching when the sun comes down so that the aroma of the foods brings the clan home for a meal together. So much in our present society is frazzled, overwhelmed, confused. And by these simple acts of grounding, these simple, unarguable rituals of absolute truth, it stops everyone in their tracks. So last week, we did a beautiful, empowering the Divine Mother meditation, where we got a taste of and remembered what it felt like to be whole and to hold that wholeness for a whole family, a whole community, and then to hold it for the world. So this week we'll talk about a ritual that is actually related to Easter. And I get my signs from Spirit. This morning I went to take a bath, and for some reason I switched on the red light in the bathroom. It's an infrared light. And it generates warmth and kind of an unusual, eerie color. And I said, what? Red is new life, but it's also stop. Stop, desist, cease and desist, and stop doing the things the way that we used to. Because our brains are so frazzled, we can't even stop for a moment and drop in. Notice how easily, that was Eliao Sills, and that beautiful music, that you could go into a zone of remembrance, and your body could move with that flow and stop thinking and be frazzled and feel home. It is that simple to bring prompts in to stop what you're doing. Now, last week I said, I need a reset. I need to do things that excite me. Of course, I'm an Aries projector and I need lots of new input all the time. And that's how I stay who I am and become the mission on my path. And that's not for everybody, but what I saw is that I had to actually die to my old self. I'm not afraid of death. I worked with hospice patients for 6 years. My grandpa's a mortician, my uncle, my brother's a mortician. I played around caskets as a child. I said, yes, that would be the full release. I want to die to my old self. I want to die to the light. Now, how perfect. This is Easter, the time for resurrection, the time to leave this life of grief and heaviness and betrayal, just as Christ did, just as most humans do. When things become too much to bear and the density is set so deeply into their heart and then in their body, we call it dis-ease, they give up and they let go. So I'm going to propose a ritual today that I practice on this week. And see, I'm still sitting here talking and moving and everything. I'm not dead, don't worry. But we are going to go through the process deeply, this ritual process of letting go. I even, while preparing for the ritual with a friend, got the picture that when my beloved mother died, my daughters and I wanted to honor her memory. My mother was a saint. She always told the truth and did the right things. And so we got flowers and apples and we made a beautiful mandala memorial, which is now in a picture, of course, to remember that. The apples went to the birds, the flowers composted, I'm sure, went right back down into the earth for new creations. So as I was planning this ceremony with my dear friend, Spirit showed me, well, you have to make it real and you need a burial plot. So you're going to make a memorial for these old parts of yourself, this exoskeleton that held all of those painful remembrances and things that keep being triggered in your nervous system and keep you in the past. I said, okay, I'll do it. So I filled a big tray with all these fun things, and it's just funny what spirit prepares for you, because for a long time I can't find my other fake diamond earring. My partner saw it and said, oh, look, this big diamond earring. I found it on the floor. And I said, oh, well, I can't find the other one. So throughout my life, I've considered myself, or I've been told that I'm a diamond in the rough, probably die a diamond in the rough. So I took that little fake diamond, and there is a little bird of peace, glass, whatever. I put the diamond in that little bird of peace. I said, this will go in the middle of remembering Jan, the old Jan. And these flowers and here stones and the elements then, of course, guided a candle. So now we have earth, then the rain came and filled all the containers, and there was fire, and that fire stayed all the way till the night. And I went and I looked, and I could see the flame of love and remembrance for what? For the striving of the human soul that was the infrastructure of the old Jan. So it could rest and it could be acknowledged and put in the past. So we're going to do this ceremony today of separating out the old and setting it in a burial plot. Burial plot can be your journal. It can be, my friend is painting a mural on her wall. It'll be fun to see what comes of that. And mine is the beautiful memorial wreath in the burial plot. Now, this has been coming for a while because I've been tired of being tired of this world and tired of my body and tired of being myself. And now don't worry, it doesn't mean 1,000% that you're going to be totally different after this, but say if you have 10% more inspiration and more space within yourself, it's certainly worth it. So what I noticed is it is Easter, a time of renewal, and I have been preparing that burial plot for 3 weeks already. I had hired a man to clear away the old dead debris, this young man, John, and he lovingly, like a gardener from heaven, made everything just beautiful, clean soil. This is an old plot that was neglected with very old, scraggly plants. I took my pruners and I shaped and beautified everything. And I planted 3 weeks ago. For some reason, I'm on Amazon and I am ordering dozens of bulbs. I want to see new life. My soul wants to see it, and I still didn't even know this ritual was coming. So now these bulbs are 2 and 3 inches up, and I realized this little plot surrounded by bricks, where the local neighborhood fox comes and rests in the sun, is my burial plot. Before we drop in and begin the actual ritual, I'm holding a tree that I bought last year. And this tree, burlap sack, looks like a plant. It is a plant. And here are eggs. That's us. It's spring, and we are being ready. We are being prepared to chip our way out. Now, I know some of us have felt very contracted and tight and in the dark for a long time. Imagine how this chick feels. I've raised baby ducks and watched the wonderment. So as things are warming up and the divine plan is bringing higher accelerated frequencies into the world of a greater degree than ever before, the solar flare charts are off the chart. What the sun is doing now, the warmth, the new energy coming in, And so interesting, I don't plan these things, but look, this even lights up. So I went and put new batteries in, new life, so that these eggs represent each of us. Each of you is a glorious new life form seeking the warmth and the right conditions to compost and to bring new life into the world. I always wondered why I bought that, and my husband always wondered why I bought that. There we go. Let's take a deep breath through our nose and out through our mouth. Prepare yourself. Perhaps there is a garment or a gown of purification for this separation ceremony that you would like to have on. Notice that I'm through this gizmo on without thinking. Well, mainly all my clothes are in the wash, and I'm at the guest house, very few Pacific Northwest outfits available. So this is now the ceremonial gown. Let's form a circle of the beings here on this Zoom meditation today. And I'm going to bring in all the beloveds from around the world. The thousands of beings who are ready to devote themselves to a brighter future and rebirth. So as we ask and intend to set the sacred space, we put ourselves in a beautiful hold-on of balance, a rebirth temple. Only energies of the highest light may be in this space now. And the beauty of it is whatever we put our intention to is true and will occur. And we are now making the intention to release the old heavy parts of ourselves. It's almost as if we are unzipping not just the old clothing that we've worn of other people's thoughts about us and our old behaviors and patterns, but our very skin and physical self that has been dancing to the disarray, the dissonance, the confusion. And we are now pulling back all of the curtains in the veil so that we may see the core of our operating system. And it is a cathedral, a tabernacle, an altar within your chest. It is known as the heart space, the sacred heart. We are in this circle and we are witnessing each other, and now we call in the divine beings of all the different faces, the saints, the archangels, the beings of light, to assist and witness this process of becoming a being of pure light. Within your heart, there is this flame of your divinity, your immortality, but it is so weak. Identify the sacred place, the sacred core of your heart, where this wick is waiting for the full light to burn off and release gently, thoroughly, completely, permanently all that is not you. all that is not going forward. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. And in this lineup of beautiful divine beings, one of them is chosen by you to do the relighting of this flame in your heart of your divinity. So while this being is gracefully moving and coming into the circle right in front of you, go ahead and lock your visionary gaze inside, of course. This isn't regular human vision. Let your eyes gently lock on to this beautiful, loving, supportive resonance of this divine being. And notice as this occurs, the entire heavens are beginning to open up, the clouds are parting, and Source is now sending down a rain and a ray of frequencies of sparkling light that is lighting up your birthday celebration. As part of this releasing death, the rebirth occurs naturally. So this divine being, your eyes are locked on. The frequency field is dancing and it is entwining and bringing this being closer to you. And with any image that you have of this divine being, blowing the light into the flame of your heart, using a beautiful candle, whatever works for you, each individual, allow the light in your heart to be lit now. This light is melting off everything but the light. You are pure light. Any physical tissues that are moving ahead are now made light, diaphanous, clear and pure. The old story, the heavy clothing is now, everything is being put in a beautiful basket with handles. All the old thoughts, relationships, patterns, habits are lovingly being folded into this basket because they have form. And notice how your body feels, almost see-through, translucent, and that you have a new garment, a beautiful, refreshed garment on. Perhaps the same one when you began, but everything is brighter. We will now take this basket to the perfect spot for composting. Just as the shell on the egg that you open to make your scrambled eggs ends up in the compost bin, this encasement of your old, this basket with all of this material in the basket, is being lovingly taken to where it needs to go. And you get to choose. Put it on a spaceship and send it out for universal reclamation projects. Put it in the ground near your home for remembrance, for memorial. Put it into your journal book or put it into a song or a dance. Any creative ritual that helps you anchor in this experience visually, auditorily, sensorially, will serve you in making this very real. It is real energetically, etherically. So bringing the prompts and remembrance into the 3D will assist and support you in this process. So the old is now safely finding its resting place, REP, a rest in peace, and come back to your heart. Feel the beating of your heart now synchronized with the universal pulse of all that is. How aligned you are with truth, beauty, love, omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. We ask and intend that our new navigational system for choosing thoughts to allow only the life preserving and supporting and sustaining thoughts to come into our field that we entertain, that we in fact imagine that our new home within ourselves is a glorious temple which has a requirement for those entering this sanctuary of our vicinity and home. Hold a resonance that is in a perfect alignment for who we truly are. Take a deep breath through the nose and out through the mouth. While this energy is percolating, Spirit is telling me to clarify. As beings of light in service here, when beings come to us, we make conscious decisions. How am I to be in service or relationship with this being? Our old selves felt as if we needed to help everyone, as if we needed to give our all. And sometimes people would use us and use us and use us. And then when we received more boundaries, they would find someone else. The new awareness is we shed light. We shed light. That does not mean that we open our doors to diseased people. It doesn't mean that we start hospitals in our own home or psychiatric wards or places where people come and psychologically might just want to beat you up based on their own. We actually have a conscious system that allows us to be anywhere now and to be safe, but to understand our role is to show a new way of being pure light, of teaching others how to be pure light by our very presence, but not the old exhausted doing. We buried that. So many of you are saying, well, how can I stay like this? And this is the message Spirit gave to me to share. Imagine that you are going about your life completely open and full of light. Your work as a person on a mission is to dispense information and new frequencies at a pace in a way that serves and sustains you. So you are a shopkeeper. You are a missionary. You're on your ministry. Sometimes I say you're in the army now, you're indoctrinated, that you have a shop and you simply, people are in need, you open your shop and you say, what can I do in this period of time to serve? But then you close the doors and you go home and you refill, refurbish, and rejuvenate, because your frequency field is your only gold. It is the only true resource. And keeping that frequency field is done in two ways: by your connecting with Source regularly and remembering and holding your own light, but sometimes that gets difficult. You need a circle of resonant beings to connect with energetically in any way on a regular basis, to witness who you are and to see this light, and non-competitively but lovingly to nourish and support and to assist each of the women in your circle to to continue to glow and grow. So this is the recipe moving forward with your new, more open, it's not more vulnerable, it's extremely strong, but to know that everything is not yours to fix. Many things must fall apart to a degree of pain and confusion, that people then ask how to recreate their lives. And that is what you are modeling. You are not doing it for them, you are doing it with them in a way that sustains and serves you as a person in the 3D doing divine work. So let's take all of that in and begin to imagine that you do have a store, you have a temple, your store is your temple, and that the doors open and close. And in the temple, what is it? It's the priestesses, it's the women eating, bathing, restoring, laughing at the whole comedic presentation of human endeavor. I'm binge watching a Turkish not sitcom, but you know, the programs on Netflix called Black Money, and the heroine and the hero continue the same dramas over and over and over, the same problems, the same issues over and over and over and over and over. And you know what? I'm thinking, well, why would they do that? Well, because people watch it, because that's what we do. We humans create the same dramas over and over and over until we don't. And your job here is not to be enamored and addicted to human emotions but to let those go. Still enjoy your emotions, but it is not the human drama that is your assignment now. And I think if you're listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's take a deep breath and let's adjust the frequencies within our heart, because we just changed a lot of things. So we ask and intend to make more room in our chest for this flame. It's not a hot flame, it's the perfect neutral temperature, but it is a flame of truth and knowledge, immortality, health. And just feel it and feel how that is the crux of all that you are. Imagine a big apartment building and it has one boiler on the bottom. And when that flame goes out, so that's what your flame in your heart is. It keeps everything warm and moving and in the right zone, in the right zone for well-being, to feel good, to have the energy in the morning to do your work and connect with your circle. See, I said it again. I can't say it enough. We must connect on a regular basis. Many words: our tribe, our community, our sisters, our beloveds. And often it's not your family of origin. Those are different roles. I'm talking about beings who see you at your frequency and love you and support you. I've often said, for me, and maybe it's true for you, people can only see me at the vibrational frequency that they are vibrating at. And that's not a judgment, higher, lower. It's just, it's a physics. They only see me, understand me. And when I see someone who understands me, I can change the trajectory of the communication to a level where I'm like, ah, they get it. I can truly be me. And that is your tribe. When you have that feeling, that's your tribe. When they see you and feel you and love you. Well, I'll tell you why it's your tribe, because we all plan this at a higher telephone system. Hello, yes, I'm going to meet you at Unity Church, and we're going to look at each other like, yeah, I've been waiting to meet you. How often do people say, oh, well, I feel like I already know you? I hear that once a week. Why? Because I'm talking to them. We're having conversations in our dream. Hey, let's meet at the coffee shop, and I'll just notice you have a certain necklace, and then we'll start talking, and then pretty soon they're in a circle. They're in a circle of my life. And I'm going to talk about this and other things, but I have an inner circle, then I have a circle of new people, and I encourage everyone, get in your circle, hold your circle as a being a vision in your circle, support other women starting their circles, and that is how we are changing the power structure on the earth. This empowerment is divinely inspired. It's priceless, and it has no price tag. It costs nothing. Okay. As you know, I can talk forever, but this thing is starting to fall apart. It actually opens in the back. The whole thing is very makeshift today. So let's just do a nice big grounding ending process here. Unless, does anybody have a song that they would like to sing to take us out today? Okay, everybody's feeling their flame here. Well, let's just take a nice deep breath. We are in gratitude and holding this process we went through today, and imagining how fun it is to go and do the physical dimension part, to either bury or make a memorial or make a birthday cake and blow it out. Whatever brings you joy. Because when that chick comes out of its shell, it's in joy. I can breathe, I can move. What can I see? What is new? What can I get into? What can I experience today? Okay, so we are finished with this part of the meditation, and I'm going to press stop on the recording, and then we'll hang out and see if anybody has any comments or ideas or anything that specifically that they experienced during our meditation. Oh, for those that are tuning in, this does go on a YouTube program and it goes out to thousands of people. You can join us every Wednesday morning. It's always free at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And you can figure out how to do this by going to the website soundandlighthealingarts.com. Thank you.
He needs it for his protection.